Today's video, we're breaking down Elk Grove, California. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm gonna actually be breaking down Elk Grove, California. There's three distinct parts about Elk Grove. We've kind of got the original area, the proper Elk Grove area, and then of course we've got kind of where all the new builds are happening right now. So let's kind of jump into this whole thing and jump into this map real quick. All right, so first things first, as you can see, you've got Elk Grove right here. Pretty much the easiest way most people are gonna go is Elk Grove to Sacramento. If they're doing their commute, they're gonna hit that 99. Now, Elk Grove, one of the cool things about it is it's growing so much that they're actually pushing, they actually surround Highway 99, and then they also push out to I-5. So depending on really where you want to get to, either freeway is gonna really have easy access. Other thing, if you're a wine enthusiast, of course, you know, you can go out here to Ione and some of these other areas to hit up some wine country, but the easiest, let's go down, is of course, you've got Lodi right there. So that's a quick little drive down 99. I would probably say you're looking at a, I'll call it maybe a 20 to 30 minute drive. You're right there in wine country. And you can really enjoy, they've got a really good downtown there in Lodi. But back to Elk Grove. So Elk Grove, let me pop this in my map real quick. It's got three distinct areas. So our first one is gonna be 95624. Now this is going to really be kind of the old school Elk Grove. There are some building going out, especially as you get out here on Sheldon or in the Sheldon area. But for the most part, they're kind of spotty here and there. You get a real country feel when you're out in this area. Most of the properties in this area are gonna be built in that 70s, 80s, even some early 90s. Really not too much was happening in the early 2000s. And like I say, you got a little bit more of a pop going on right now. And in this area itself, housing prices are sitting right around that call it 630 number right now is going to be your average price point. Now don't let that price point though fool you. You can actually, especially when you get out to some of these ranch areas, you can find some pretty large properties, and you can also find some properties with some acreage. Now the only thing is everything's pretty flat out there. You're not going to get any kind of a hill or anything like that in the area, but it's usable land. So if you are someone who enjoys the outdoors, whether you're looking to farm, whether you're looking to maybe have kind of like almost like a little homestead, have some horses, goats, stuff like that, you can find that out there. Or if you're just someone who maybe wants to maybe build a couple homes, that is an option out there. Usually I would say if you're gonna be out here, remember you're gonna be on that well, but you're gonna also have amenities depending, also hooking right into the city. So most of those other houses in this section right here, butting right up to the 99, that's pretty much just gonna all be those houses built in that 70s, 80s, and the 90s. You're gonna have some properties in this area that are gonna have some decent space, but you're not gonna get a ton of space as if you get into really kind of like your, you know, Carmichael, Fair Oaks areas, but still a decent amount in there. Other than that, for shopping, other than the 99 access, you got to remember too, when you're in this area, you are really just someone who I would also say just loves to be in Elk Grove, right? If you're looking for some fancy food or some good food, you're really not going to find that out here. You do have some mom and pop shops kind of mixed in there. We do have, of course, you know, a couple different shopping centers. You got your Dutch Bros out there, you know, you got your Mel's Dogs, but not a ton has been really happening out here. You're really moving out here, I believe, if you really want just a little bit more peace and quiet in the neighborhood. But really, you can find some interesting properties there. And even though that 630 is kind of that average price point, You can also find a house a little bit cheaper than that. So if you're someone who is maybe either one, willing to put in a little bit of work, or you got a little bit of money and you're wanting a little bit of space, excellent area to go to as well. I can find properties out here for some of my clients. I think the lowest one we found was really in that like 490, 500 area. Now again, this is a house that needed paint, needed carpet. I think we even needed a roof. But once it was done, we really quickly jumped into that mid 600 number. So they bought the house under market and of course improved it and got it right to where it needs to be. Now another thing that I'll note, if you're in that Elk Grove area, I just want to point out one thing. Traffic is something that you will hear from several people over and over again. The reason being is pretty much, if you look right here, so you got Laguna Boulevard, you got Elk Grove Boulevard right here, and then also our last one on the very bottom. Those are, and then of course, I shouldn't forget Bond Road, right? They just kind of pill into each other. Those three roads are your main roads to get anywhere and everywhere in Elk Grove. So just know that if you're in that, say 5 o'clock traffic, or if you're in early morning, or if kids are having to rotate and get into different schooling systems, that is going to be one of those things where you are going to hit some traffic almost any part of the day, but those times are going to be a little bit worse. I have had people that have come out to the area and just go, man, I just didn't understand the amount of traffic that was happening. I will say most of these are going to be, somewhere between, depending on where you're at on the road, somewhere between a 3 to 4 lanes. So they've got plenty of lanes. It's just, these are almost like they don't have any crosstown to get to one side or the other in Elk Grove. So you're pretty much taking these streets wherever you go. That in mind, it is going to take some time if you're going to get to one side or the other. I'll tell you, my sister lives in the area. She can get to my house, at least she tells me, within probably about 25 minutes. Now I'm in Roseville, she's in Elk Grove. Not sure if I believe her on that one, but that's a different story. But if you want to drive from one end to the other of Elk Grove, it's going to probably take you about the same amount of time, again depending on what time you're going. Okay, so now let's jump into our next zip code. That's going to be 95758. Now this is, I would say most people are gonna call this kind of Elk Grove proper. This is gonna be kind of where all the happening things are going on, right? You got the Safeway, you got your Jamba Juice, you got Sprouts Markets. A lot of people, a lot of my clients when they get in there love getting into Laguna West. This is probably one of the most popular parts. Really what's kind of cool about this is you have a ton of these lakes built out here, all man-made lakes. It's got like a 5-mile-an-hour boating out there. So basically most people are just using little putt-putts, or they're just using kind of like a manual little boats out here, but beautiful to look out at. All these ones with the gates, or I'm sorry, with the ponds are going to be gated communities. So you do have some HOAs. Cool thing though is these are established neighborhoods. So I'm gonna mention that Melrose, you're not really gonna see that out there, but you will get those HOAs. HOAs for the most part in most of these communities are really just take care of the gates and a couple of the greenbelts areas. When you do get into Laguna West, they do take care of a little bit more. And there are some pretty good restrictions out there. You will have to make sure that you are getting okays for the painting of your house if you do something like that. If you decide to pour a different driveway, anything like that, you do have to get that stuff cleared. Other cool thing about being in this area is these houses on the outside, there is no HOA. There's a ton of walking trails out here. Trees are really grown out really nicely. And then you right off of the Highway 5. Now, I will say the Highway 5, the other cool thing about Highway 5 is you really don't have a ton of traffic out there. There are points on the 5 where it basically goes to like a 4-lane down to a 2-lane, which they are improving as we speak. So it does back up for a minute there, but then it goes right back wide open again as you keep going. Now with Elk Grove, one of the cool things is it's a place that a lot of my clients, and especially this Laguna area, is a place where a lot of my clients decide to end up buying just because of the price point. If you're in, you know, say up here in your Roseville, Folsom, El Dorado Hills, you're looking a minimum of probably about $100,000 to spend in those areas to what you can actually get in the Elk Grove area. And the big reason people like coming out here, of course, is one, you get more amenities, you get a bigger house, maybe more rooms. But then the other cool thing is the school district is one of the best out there. Elk Grove is served by the Elk Grove Unified School District, which is actually one of the largest school districts in California. Its district has a reputation of providing quality education for all of its students, and also they are building out there, so the child per teacher is actually staying pretty low and under the national average as we speak. The other cool thing that I like about being in this area in particular is, like I say, is you're really in the hustle and bustle of everything. You can use either freeway, doesn't really matter, whichever one you want, you can get to fairly quickly, and everything and anything you want is here. You've also, of course, got Laguna Creek High School is right there. You've got a lot of fun things. As you can see, you've got the Sky Zone right there. You got your family fitness in the corner over here. The other cool thing that they just developed is going to be, and it kind of shows in the outside, it's actually going to still be in Elk Grove, but you've got the Delta Shores. This is a whole new area that was just built out. You've got RC Willie's right there. You got Hobby Lobby. Really not showing all of the restaurants, but right in this section right here, you actually have a ton of really good food in the area, not just these, you know, chain foods. I know you got In-N-Out Burger, Sonic, stuff like that, but some mom and pop shops that are in here that are really, really good. Here it is right here. You can kind of see a little bit more. So really a lot of different things are happening in Elk Grove, and this is one of them. The shopping is getting better. I would say if you came to Elk Grove probably 5 years ago, it really wasn't there. You pretty much were going into Sacramento to get a lot of these amenities for you. But the other thing, like I say, if you're commuting and stuff, it's not that far compared to if you're in the other place. As a side note, if you're living in the Laguna area especially, or this last neighborhood or last zip code I should say that we'll be talking about, Elk Grove is technically the closest to the Bay Area. So if you're doing some driving, right, if you still are having to do that commute, Elk Grove might be one of those places you may want to consider if you want that school districts for the kids, but you're just like, hey, I still got to go in. Maybe you're someone who telecommutes, but still is required to go in maybe once or twice a week. Elk Grove is a great spot for you. All right, and one of the last spots we're gonna hit is the 95757. Now this area here is actually going to butt all the way down into the Galt area. As you can see, there's all this, I'm not sure if you see all this green open space here. That is pretty much where they're doing all of their building right now. So we've got any and every builder in the Sacramento area is currently building in that area. And as a side note, right now, those guys are actually giving some pretty good incentives. I will say in some other parts with some of the same builders, I've seen anywhere from a $10,000 credit up to a $30,000 credit. So pretty substantial, especially when you're looking into the scheme of things of, hey, I can get X more for that $30,000. I just had a client that had a budget right in that 600 range, and because they were giving a $30,000 incentive for them, plus also some different upgrades that they were able to work in, they decided to go with a little bit more expensive house just because of the incentives offered. So something to kind of keep in mind here. Now, one of the cool things about this area is it is the new happening spot. Average price point though in this area is going to be pretty close to about that 680 number. I'd actually even push that a little bit closer to 690 at this point. And then the other thing to remember on top of this is that you also are going to have some Melrose, right? They've still got to build this out. You got all this green area here that they've got to build out with parks and schools and some additional streets, side streets, stuff like that. So just remember, your payment is going to be affected by those Melroses out there, which are going to be some of the highest that we've seen in the actual Sacramento area. Now, I have seen a lot higher as we get into like Placer or El Dorado counties, but for Sacramento, these are going to be some of the higher areas. Another thing, I'm going to kind of backtrack on myself from, like, say this area that I was first talking about, or the Laguna area. I will say also, you're finally starting to see Elk Grove build much bigger houses. Laguna especially, I'll say that you get some cool houses, you get some tri-levels out there, you get a lot of single family houses out, or single level family houses out there, but they haven't really made those giant properties where you've got like multi-generations, which has been really popular in this area. They haven't really done that. So that's why I would say kind of like this little area out here ended up becoming a little bit more popular, because you had some bigger houses that you could actually build some stuff on, right? And build some additional homes in the backyard. They're finally doing that in this section down here. So again, a lot of this here on I-5 is going to all end up getting built out. Of course, they'll build out to the 99, and then they're kind of just all in this little area here. The new casino, if you are working for the casino, or if you like the go to casinos, is going to be that Sky River Casino. It's all the rage, all the talk about. If you're not into gambling, no worries. They are going to have some phenomenal food. They already have a steakhouse, a Chinese restaurant, a couple different dim sum places. They've got a couple places in there already, but when they're all said and done with this place, I believe, don't quote me on this, I think it's 32 or 35 different restaurants will be held in this casino. The other thing that they're going to be doing is also adding on a hotel area that's a little bit down the road, since they just opened the doors. I have personally not been there since they've opened up some of the newer stuff, so I can't speak on it, but I've actually had some clients that love just going there for date night, and they say it is awesome in the area. Now, other than the school system, one of the other reasons I find that people are just kind of moving to that Elk Grove area is going to be because of the jobs that are actually out there. Elk Grove has a few different places to work at. So Elk Grove has a diverse job market with opportunities in various different sectors. One, they've got the healthcare. Two, education, of course, and it's high education, so they get to pick the litter of their teachers. We've got retail that's happening. I was just talking about that. You actually even have some manufacturing. A couple companies that are out there. A lot of people forget Apple's out there. You've got Kaiser Permanente. You've got the Elk Grove Unified School District. Sutter Health, of course, is out there as well. And then one of the other reasons I see a lot of people moving to this area is, of course, because of the safety. Depending on where you're at, they're definitely going to vary from area to area, but for the most part, Elk Grove is a very safe community. Like I said, my sister has lived there for years, has never had a car broken into, never had a house broken into, has never once had an issue or felt like she is, in danger. So it's a great area to raise a family. We're seeing more and more people come out to that area because of the safety, because of those school systems, of course. Another thing too is Elk Grove, because of the way it's growing right now, if you're buying real estate at this point, you really are going to get in, especially on this lower end here, you're going to get in on those groundbreaking times. Reason being is there's a lot more development to happen out there. So until Elk Grove, until it's completely built out, you've got a lot of opportunity. The other thing I've seen out here, because of where rents are at, I've seen a lot of investors take interest in the Elk Grove area as well. You can purchase, again, a house for say 600, 630 in that lower range. It's a good 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and this thing is going to pull in some really decent rents. If you want more info on that, leave me a comment, send me a DM, and I'll get back to you depending on the area that you might be interested in and your budget. Other thing to note too is Elk Grove, because of where it's situated, you can real quickly get over here to your Sutter and Jackson and really get into those foothills pretty quickly. If you're someone who likes to do some camping, if you're someone who wants to, say, maybe not go up to the Folsom area, but you got Comanche Reservoir right there in your backyard. And the cool thing is you're pretty much just taking some back roads and you're there. So pretty much you're gonna head down 99 and you're just gonna basically, right before you hit Lodi, right in that Acampo, you're gonna head out and you're in Comanche. You got some beautiful camping spots and everything out there, and great fishing. Other than that, I will say the weather in Elk Grove, it does get hot just like anywhere else in the Sacramento area. It's a dry heat, so it is what it is. It's not that bad. I've been in humid climates. This is a cakewalk. We are actually going through a heat wave as I speak right now, and it's not bad. I mean, yes, we've hit a couple days of like 109, but I could still stand to be outside because there's just no humidity. The cool thing is, though, you have rivers running right there through Elk Grove, and then you've got that delta not too far from there as well, so you get a really nice breeze at night. I mean, almost to the point where sometimes it gets windy from those rivers and lakes, and just cools everything off, so you can go for that nice summertime walk. They get a little bit, being down here in the Elk Grove area compared to, say, like your Roseville, Folsom, and El Dorado Hills area, they actually get a little bit less rain than we do just north. And the other thing that I really like about the Elk Grove area, of course, is just kind of like the recreation, the parks that Elk Grove is putting into the area. So a couple of these parks, or some notable parks, are going to include your Elk Grove Regional Park. You've got the Laguna Creek Parkway, which basically offers different amenities for like sports fields. They've got picnic areas. We also have playgrounds. You got walkable trails all out there. And if you're a golfer, you got several golf courses in this area. So a lot to offer in the Elk Grove community. So guys, hopefully you guys got everything out of this video that you wanted. If you guys want more information, or if you guys are looking to buy or sell in the Elk Grove area, my name's Justin Stankovich. We are a group of real estate agents with the Sacramento team that would love to help you find your next dream home. Or hey, if you got to get out of California, call us. We'll get that thing listed and sold in no time. I'll see you guys on the next one. If you got something to say, please leave it in the comments. If my locals are out there listening to this video, I would love to hear your feedback of what you love about the Elk Grove area and what made you choose the area. And if you're ready to buy, hit that 15-minute Zoom call. Let's get started for you. We'll see you on the next one.